Ashna puts the wank in vanquish. I don't think I can show my face in Chennai or Tamil Nadu after this.
You are not showing your face on the podcast only, man. Forget Chennai.
It is a plan.
Death. Oh my God.
So, anything actually you guys were talking or just...
No, this will lead.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?
Hello. Welcome to the Bits and Pieces, the friendliest cricket podcast. We are back here for another week 137, episode 137. Yes, our unbroken streak continues. It was in danger as of Friday and Monday, but here we are recording on a Tuesday and still ensuring that we still make the cutoff for the week. We have a rambunctious group of people who are all subscribing to the same ideology. First off, we have Bisi, Nishant Biswal, all the way from Old Blighty, ready to report about all the happenings in the 100 and the people who are playing and not playing and the injuries that are going to happen and not going to happen. We also have our domestic scout that all the Ranji teams pay for and have on payroll to give them the insights of who should be and should not be selected for either the Buchi Babu or the Tulip Trophy and so on. Varun Murli, our very nice and humble, not jinxer person on the pod, famously known for not jinxing any of the outcomes that have happened in the past 6 months. Welcome, Varun.
Pleasure, Max.
And last but not the least, a gentleman who is totally out of place amongst the three useless people that are on the pod. Someone who just is born for prose and also David Attenborough impressions. Prashant DP, I still don't know why you are on the pod, but now that you are, we will try to act decently and please you and make sure that we at least talk about some things cricket in a week that has had zero cricket. At least the kind that matters to the universe. So welcome, PDP.
It's a pleasure to be here, Max. And I'm totally at home in this group.
There was some cricket that
cricket happened.
Here it comes.
There was some cricket that did happen. In Port of Spain, in my time zone, there was a test match that played out in between rains. South Africa and the West Indies played a test, which drew. And after almost, 3 years or 4 years of a draw, I think 2021 was the last time in the WTC calendar there was a draw. So there was a drawn test match. It shouldn't have drawn because West Indies were nowhere in the game. It was just the rains that helped them. Keshav Maharaj bowled 40 overs on the trot, got into the record books, just shy of Raymond Price, and just inching past Harbhajan Singh in a marathon spell, trying to get those wickets. But Alec Athanasi held out for the Windies. Looking at the surprised faces on the rest of my panelists, I'm guessing none of you have even heard of this game that has been happening.
Spot on. Well done. Next.
My only issue with all of this is you completely sidetracked the India-Sri Lanka ODI series.
Absolutely.
That concluded this week only, no?
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about things which
don't matter. He just said, exactly.
Cricket that matters. Test cricket. We are talking about Test cricket. Test cricket is real cricket. Who cares for these useless bilateral one-day tournaments that happen where the pitches are turning and all that? But we will get to it since you are the official scout and the representative for Gautam Gambhir on the spot. So we will get to it. But one of the things that the West Indies is, first of all, it's in my time zone, so I can get to watch it. But I was surprised to see Tristan Stubbs coming out at number 3 because I never, from whatever I followed, he's more, I've always known him as a basher and so on. And so I don't think I've even seen him in the 50-over format playing for them. He's played in the T20 World Cup. He's played in the, in franchises across the world. But coming in at number 3, big shoes to fill. That was he was batting pretty steadily. I was surprised to see that. And then, West Indies. I mean, I'm happy they were able to get away with with the draw, but yeah, they didn't seem to be in the game at all.
I didn't watch highlights of the game, but I was following it on Pick Info. And I'm just amazed at Kima Roach. I mean, he's probably along with Ashwin, probably the only bowler who is bowled to Ricky Ponting at this point in time in the world. And to watch him even now, and he's still, so accurate and doesn't give anything away. He's obviously lost pace, but yeah, I'm a big fan. Glad to see him plugging away.
Yeah, and they didn't have Shamar Joseph for this game.
They didn't have Shamar Joseph. I don't know what's happened to Shannon Gabriel. He's just gone off the radar. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant to see Kema Roach picking up wickets again. And he plays only Test cricket, and West Indies only play 2 Test series wherever they play, whatever little they play, right? So that makes it even more creditable that he stays fit and that he's firing every time.
Take that, ECB, for workload management. Nonsense.
Yeah, so
No, but I think Kemar Roach was a big miss during the tour to England. I'm sure like West Indies would have pulled out a test match, like given how well they batted during that tour,
Yeah.
because it was, if anything, it was their bowling that let them down. So,
Yep.
and Kemar Roach, like especially to left-handers, he is just like, I think one of the best bowlers in the world to left-handers. I mean, he's just like so difficult to face, especially if there is something in the wicket. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know this, like Kemar Roach and Ashwin being the only 2 people who are probably
I mean,
able to.
I just said that out of the top of my head. Someone will have to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. I mean, I don't think anyone else playing right now has bowled to Ricky Ponting. I could be wrong, but yeah,
Yeah, my only guess is like Tim Saudi could have bowled, but yeah.
possible. Yeah, good guess.
Speaking of Tim Saudi took 4 wickets in a game at the 100, and Trent Rockets are out of the tournament. It was surprising that he was still amongst the wickets. But then the 100 is having other important things as well, wherein the greatest entertainer on the face of the earth
Has limped off
has
again.
hobbled off.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bisi, please tell us about things that are happening in your backyard. Can you open the window and tell us what's happening out right now?
Yeah, right now it's heat wave apparently, because it is a very mild 33 degrees. ECB does funny things. It creates a semi T20 league on top of Vitality Blast called the 100, which nobody cares about. So much so that they're trying to sell it to Indian franchisees also this year. Delhi and Mumbai obviously has money to spare after the weddings. So they're all after the getting this sold off. Like the typical British thing to do is to start a private enterprise, nationalize it, and then sell it off, and then cry about it for the rest of your lifetime. So this is exactly what they're trying to do here also. So the classic case in point is what is known as the erstwhile Great British Rail, and now they're doing that to the 100 as well. Everybody keeps criticizing the 100, saying nobody comes to watch it, which is partially true. But the crowd numbers are abysmal this year, like really, really bad. More crowd turns up to watch, I think, Cheteshwar Pujara ply his wares wherever he does nowadays. So the whole criticism has been that you're forcing all the nationally contracted players who have important series coming up to turn up for the 100. And right on cue, Ben Stokes, the messiah of all that is great and good in the red ball game, twists his hamstring or whatever he does with it, and he's on crutches by the end of the game. So, and in serious doubt for playing the Sri Lankan series. So again, all the tom-tomming has started about, why even play the 100? Why have people turn up for it? More importantly, why can't our, contracted players be exempted from playing it?
That's the relief. I'm so glad no one said, why even bother playing Sri Lanka?
No, that is the whole point. So I wanted to buy tickets for the West Indies games at Oval. I think they played at the Oval. Couldn't get it. Done. It was out in like 2 days. For the weekend at least. Like the ones which were on the weekday, there was still availability. For Lords, it's almost similar. I'm very lucky that I went the moment it sort of opened, and I got tickets. Otherwise, you won't get tickets there. There is decent following and decent interest in at least following a proper test match between two test sides. I mean, it will be a lopsided contest on paper at least. You don't expect Sri Lanka to really stretch the English side. But there is serious interest in the game even now, and people will turn up in the thousands, come lords, whenever that is. But Ben Stokes can't play, so that is good fun.
Ben Stokes was showing solidarity with the Sri Lankan team. Yeah?
How?
He also felt that like it was unsafe to play in England.
Oh, nice. So,
Yeah, so Ben
viewers
Stokes
slash
is a
listeners, what VaMu is referring to is the Sri Lankan team asking for a security
Evaluation.
assessment. Yeah,
Ah.
security assessment in light of the riots which were happening across the whole of England. Nice, well done, well played.
Bisi, what were people writing for in the first place?
This is a riot between people who think that Ben Stokes is the Messiah and people who don't.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
But so Vokes has been pulled out of the as a preliminary pick, so that at least they need to have one functioning fast bowler who's able to play. So he's been pulled out of the 100. But Shoaib Bashir and Mark Wood have not been in the 100 at all. So they've been given workload management. However, Ben Stokes, the most fittest and unfragilest person, has been asked to play the 100.
Unfragilest is the best title that can come up, prefix for Ben Stokes.
Guess one more player who has not been picked in the test side who has suddenly expressed interest to play in the 100.
Jimmy Anderson.
Yes.
I saw this.
Oh.
So basically,
What a country, man! Like they keep churning out talent like this. Means Asana will feel left out at this rate. It's like Asana versus the whole of England right now.
No. So basically, there's that movie, right? No Country for Old Men. England is like, yes, we are here. We are the country only for old men.
VaMu, tell us more,
yeah.
man. Tell us more. What did Anderson? Why does Anderson think he's up for T20s? Tell us.
He started off as a white ball bowler, right? I mean, that's like, I think, was it like the 2003 World Cup where I think Duncan Fletcher picked him out of nowhere and he started making an impression in that tournament. So he started off as a white ball bowler. I am really looking forward to seeing Jimmy Anderson in the IPL. I think that will like be phenomenal to watch, and it's just a pity that like Gautam Gambhir isn't around, because I'm sure if KKR still had Gautam Gambhir, like they would have picked Jimmy Anderson and made him carry drinks. So like,
man, it'll be epic if he's playing against Rajasthan Royals and he gets run out at the bowler's end by Ashwin. Like that will just set the world on fire. Everyone die. He's achieved whatever he wanted to.
I mean, Cummins is bowling the IPL, guys. Jimmy can do fine. Jimmy will be fine if he shows up.
No doubt. He will be absolutely fine. It's just that who will take him up is the who will take him? Delhi Daredevils, Tata either in Chennai will take him, or Delhi Daredevils.
We've had franchises.
Two people.
We have had franchises who are paying for Tim Southey and Chris Jordan. So
hey, RCB doesn't count. RCB, please don't bring into discussion. there is logic and there is complete lack of logic, and then there is Chinnaswamy.
No, but in keeping with Country for Old Men, there is a franchise for old men in the IPL.
Exactly.
Yes. There is such.
And in keeping with their phase lag, they have now warmed up to the idea of the WPL. They're like, we will now evaluate the potential for Women's Premier League after 2 seasons. They are that much out of phase, man. What a team.
Talking about the franchise for old men, there was news about that very franchise wanting to see if a certain player who has won World Cups and multiple trophies could be registered as an uncapped player for the upcoming edition. Very interesting because he hasn't been playing international cricket for
5 years.
5 years now.
Yeah.
So he is technically uncapped by definition. He doesn't wear the India cap. I laughed so bad because this is like the perfect thing you would do in gully cricket, where you'll say, hey, you'll come up with some arcane rule on a technicality because saying, that balcony is out. Therefore, I'm going to do this. And because I couldn't hit in the balcony, you should not ask me to catch here. Some nonsense like that. But like uncapped player, MS Dhoni.
By the same logic, KKR will retain Sunil Narayan as their uncapped player. Like one, like.
They should do it.
Oh.
They should do it. Narayan and Russell as uncapped players, and then MI can bring Pollard back in as an uncapped player, and it'll be hilarious.
Hey, this is uncapped across formats or uncapped in any one format, only in the T20 format? How does it work? Like Ashwin can be uncapped player also, no? He's not turned up for T20 side for 5 years.
Ashwin can play as coach, mentor, captain, bowler, fielder.
Social media intern.
Ashwin is right now got more roles than Johnny Sins. Okay.
Plumber Panama, sir.
Oh,
So
boy.
yeah.
So one quiz question I will put.
Oh,
There is something called the ICC Men's Cricketer of the Month these days. Do you know who won it for the month of July?
Ashwin.
Van der Sar.
Cricketer of Chumma Surya Kumar Yadav. Like, for what joy, man? Like,
Okay,
what did he do?
Best
Dude,
captain.
these
ever,
awards,
man.
these
Come on.
awards are useless. Okay, these
Hello.
awards are
Yes.
only put in place so that Crazy Johns can put it out, and then ICC can get some retweets. Everyone knows that.
Then it'll
So-
end with very great initiative by ICC / Jesha / BCCI / Nita Ambani / Moody ji.
So they are as pointless as if you're asking the
No,
why
but
Surya
say now,
Kumar,
what's
the award itself is pointless.
You have to
VaMu,
guess, man.
No, it is okay. Guess a English player.
Oh, what's that new fast bowler guy? What is that? Sensational fast bowler who made
Gus
debut?
Atkinson.
Gus Atkinson, yes.
Correct.
They will create their own trophy, give it to their own people, and then ask us to. Then you'll come and ask us
No,
questions.
they will invent the game, then they will make their own trophy, then they will give it to their own people.
Then they'll count their own boundaries in case
They
of
will
change.
they will colonize half the world, teach them to play.
So cricket is returning to the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028. The last time it was played was in 1900 Summer Olympics in Paris between two teams, Great Britain and France, and Great Britain won. It was a test match. Here's the conundrum in front of the great ECB now. So Great Britain essentially is comprised of which all countries? Anybody knows? You want to answer quiz question?
Scotland,
England,
Wales,
England,
Wales.
Scotland, Ireland.
and Northern Ireland, not all of
Ah,
it.
very nice.
Yeah,
Well done.
yeah.
And the overseas British territories known as, which are some of which are part of West Indies. Okay. So now England typically participates in Olympics as Great Britain. So now they need to actually, join hands with the Scotland,
Oh,
Ireland,
I love this, man.
Wales,
I love this.
and some random board in Antigua, Barbados, Saint
I love
Martin,
this.
and create one team and send. Amma, pretty good fun this is going to be.
Yeah.
So there is a news which has come out today that there has been a very early outreach by the ECB to talk to Cricket Scotland and even the Irish board. I don't even know what it is called, to start talking about it. Even 4 years in advance, they are like, we don't know how this is going to work out. So let us start talking now. God alone will save us. And
And
the
the king.
best part, 2028 summer for England's men, which is exactly when the Olympics also will be there. So it'll be around August, July sometime, which is in the middle of their summer season, is when they have 6 tests from Australia and India, sorry.
Yeah, but India will also be sending a team for the Olympics. No?
Yeah,
So will
of course.
Australia.
Yeah.
So
No, but England will have to manage Scotland, Ireland, hopes also. Saint Martin also has to come into the play. I don't agree. I will not play baseball style.
Mahagadbandhan.
This will be like the Mahagadbandhan of all Gadbandhans for cricket ever.
Awesome.
And incidentally, there is contract already. There's floating tender for construction of new stadium because they're like, we don't have facility. So
Anchor supply.
Max, please forward tender document to Melbourne. These guys are going there. So.
PDP can supply the concrete, Hank will supply the pitches. They can construct something.
I really think it's like I don't know how they convince them to agree for it, but it'll be good fun. Yeah, I really think it'll be good fun. You'll again have low and slow pitches, and then India will be odds-on favorite again. Rohit Sharma will return from retirement. All will be well.
But speaking of lesser known teams, there was this thing that you wanted to talk about earlier, right? About this small blip in the Gambhir era, wherein we have dropped a.
Yeah. Gambhir's era itself so far has been a small
Small blip in the Gambhir, right? See,
Era is
Small
equal to
blip.
blip only.
Yeah, era
Chinna
is
blip.
equal to blip.
Chinna blip.
So, PDP, as a competent left-arm spinner, please tell us what is the deal with playing spin and the inability to play spin?
No, so first of all, this series was very triggering for me because it is like God decided that 196 semi-final is not enough for you. Many years later, we will play out that script over 3 ODIs. Okay. So instead of Dharmasena, Jayasurya, what is that other guy? Kalpage, whoever, right? Forget the leg spinner. We now have
Chandana, right?
Chandana.
Chandana.
No, Chandana.
Chandana. We now have Vandase and Velalage and Asalanka and all that, and the result is the same. And just in keeping with that 96 parallel, right? You have an opening batsman from Bombay who's batting on a different wicket to everyone else. Okay, he's like smashing it. And the scores are so fucking similar, man. Like they're all like 230, 240. It is all like fucking Eden Gardens all over again. The only thing missing, actually, even that was there. Like Vinod Kambli is also crying somewhere else. You don't have bottles being thrown on the ground. That's all.
So let's deconstruct this now.
Nothing already deconstructed. Over. Finished. Clive Lloyd is awarded match.
No, like even our best players of spin in Shreyas Iyer, were found wanting on those games. So it is very interesting because, and one of the things I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, he was asking me, and I said that we don't have spinning tracks in India anymore, right? We don't have truly spinning tracks in India anymore. Like even the tests that we've played, balls maybe stays low.
Bharat Sundaresan dislikes this comment.
It deviates a bit or something, but it doesn't turn square or that way. So which is why the whole sweep and like if you look at how Avishka Fernando was playing, right? Everything Washi was throwing at him, he was happily just playing behind square and deep square and all that. And Washi was trying to change his length and ended up balling a lot of fuller balls and so on. But that's not something you see where, and I think even Rohit mentioned about it. He didn't say it was a concern or something, but he did mention something about sweeps or something, I think in his post-match interview of how they should probably look into it and things like that.
No, so there's actually a very, very nice piece by Sid Monga where he reviews the series, and it was really nicely written, as everything by Sid Monga is. So he was talking about the fact that in recent times, at least, whenever the odds have favored the team that chases simply because dew comes into play and spinners get out of the equation. Here, for whatever reason, the track seemed to spin more and more progressively. Either the wicket became sticky or moist or whatever, and there was not that much of a dew factor. So in that sense, it was actually the only time I can remember that happening over a 50-over World Cup was, all jokes apart, that 96 final. But yeah, he was making the exact same point in that article where he said that when it's turning so much, you can't play straight. I mean, you can't hit straight. You can't, like Shivam Dubey can't do what he does in
Right.
Chennai. In Chennai, for example, he has to figure out a different way of scoring, which they were not able to do, I guess. But for all the people who are saying that, these guys can't play spin, but earlier Indian batsmen could play spin. I mean, I will point to the 96 semi-final again and say even those guys couldn't play spin.
No, but even if you look at it from yeah, but the Shivam Dubey one was hilarious because Van der Sar got the wicket on the second ball. Shivam Dubey walks out, and then the commentator was on air. I think Robin Uthappa was on air during that game, and he goes, "Spin basher is here," and all of that. And then 2 balls later, he's gone. So that was very comical, but yeah, you cannot play straight, and because the degree of turn in Indian pitches is low and not as much as this, they're not employing the reverses and the sweeps as much, right? So they're still ending up driving, right? They end up driving or hitting it to mid wicket or off the covers, not to not point or deep square or even behind, and that's where I think that also I think it's the ground sizes as well, because they were not playing in one of the smaller grounds, right? They played at the SSC, which is a much bigger ground compared to something in Kandy or somewhere else. So bigger boundaries on the side, and then your batters playing straight. So that's probably what caused it. And in contrast, you see how Avishka was playing. He was doing the exact opposite of what our batters were doing.
So the other interesting point that Monga makes in that article is that a lot of Indian batsmen got out playing defensive shots. So they weren't, they weren't trying to be adventurous or anything. If anything, they were playing conservatively and they got out. So, obviously, that's actually what makes you realize that maybe there is something to what Rohit is saying, that you need a better method or a different method to survive on those pitches. But that said, honestly, I think all 3 games were so, I think the result would have been the other way around had India batted first, honestly.
Yeah, the conditions change just too dramatically in my view, and I mean, it was kind of a throwback to how cricket used to be at the old Premadasa Stadium. I mean, even there, I remember I mean, batting under lights used to be very challenging, which is very unlike what you do, because they usually under lights there's a bit of the ball should stand, playing spin should be a bit easier, but the Premadasa Stadium was one such stadium which always bucked the trend. Batting second used to be very difficult there. And I also think that I didn't read too much into the Indian batsman's ability to play spin, etc. Though I don't dispute I mean, it's probably not at a level where it should be. But most of the batsmen came completely undercooked into the series. I don't think anybody came into the series challenging tracks, and I don't think the right level of preparation was also there, to be honest. So I wouldn't read too much into this series, and I think just a one-off. I think what was more interesting was some of the things that Gambhir was trying out. It was very evident that the way this team is going to be run, or what he expects from the team is a lot different from what we've been used to over the last 8-9 years, getting all the batsmen to bowl. I mean, pushing poor KL Rahul down and down, and so all those kinds of things. The lad gets his share of flack, but I really don't think his position as India's ODI wicketkeeper, and I would also say India's Test wicketkeeper away from home should be under question, to be honest. He had a fantastic ODI World Cup. And this is pretty much the first series India were playing after that, and to drop him after 2 ODIs, I just felt was very, very rough on him. That's my take at least.
Everything I will say, okay, I will take fine. But India's test keeper outside home, did you just say that, or is that my audio that made me?
Have you watched Rishabh Pant keep over the last 6 months?
Have you seen him bat?
Have you seen-
Forget keeping.
Yeah.
Have you seen his tweets? 10,000 rupees for javelin throw. What is that?
No, I mean, Neeraj did him a great service. Neeraj wanted to ensure that poor chap didn't lose, money on this. And so Neeraj, like, I'll just take silver so that poor chap can spend his money on rehab and future things and not give it out to random followers on the internet.
But
But
KL Rahul, overseas keeper.
VaMu's picking KL Rahul to keep at Adelaide and Brisbane. Is that what you're saying, VaMu?
No, I mean the way Pant is keeping correctly, like I would have no doubts about it. Like Pant after his comeback, he was really good in the first series. I forget, like I think was it the IPL? I think it was the IPL, right?
IPL is when
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was pretty good at least in the early part of the IPL. But ever since, I think he's been very average behind the stumps, and his batting form has also been like leaves a lot to be desired. So yeah, I mean, current form, like I would definitely start KL over Pant.
I love this, VaMu. Thank you for this that you've given us. August 2024, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Varun Murli has called for KL Rahul to be the first choice gloveman for the Indian test team in going down to Australia later this year. And Rishabh Pant will have a torrid time, whether it is behind the wickets or in front of the wickets, which means, there's only one option that is going to come out of this, that he will surpass even Adam Gilchrist in his supreme glove work and swashbuckling batting. So we can't wait for it. Everyone is very happy that VaMu made this great prediction. Now that all the
selfless fellow, man. Really.
All the BGT bound BNP team will be very happy to hear this. Speaking of BGT bound, the great Ricky Ponting made a prediction where I would say it's a very un-Australian prediction, or a very gracious prediction, where he has said that India will manage to win at least one test and draw one test. And not go for a 5-0 whitewash like all his other fellow, teammates and experts would have said. So Ricky Ponting is thinking India would be 3-1 in the BGT. Bisi, thoughts?
He's correct. How can Ricky Ponting be wrong? After he got thrown out by Ganguly, I'm sure he's getting his other predictions right at least compared to what he got for Delhi Devils. Who the hell cares about these predictions, man?
Yeah.
Like Glenn McGrath was the one who keeps predicting 5-0 no matter who turns up to play in Australia or how many test matches. 2-match series 5-0. Okay. Against Sri Lanka 5-0. Against India 5-0. West Indies 5-0. Okay. Australia A 5-0. Who cares about all this?
So, PDP, what do you think of our chances at the BGT now that it is prediction time?
I actually think 3-1 or 3-2 is how I think it will play out. It depends a lot on Mohammad Shami. If he's,
come on.
Yeah, so if he's, I mean, it is very, very wishful thinking to expect him to come back and be at full pace and, at full form after such a long period away. But it'll be great to watch him bowl.
VaMu, please tell us about Mohammad Shami and
please tell us what will not happen, VaMu. Go for it.
I don't understand why they would go into this as favorites. Like if India have Bumrah and Shami fit.
Oh, reverse radar.
Here I go. Nice. This is very convoluted, nice. Full multiverse of predictive madness you have done. Very well done. Now even I don't know who you have jinxed. Well done.
See, this is an Australian side that lost to West Indies in the last test match they played at home. Like a West Indies side that like wins one test match in every 3 years or so. My sense is that like a lot of the Australian players are getting to that stage where they're probably have crossed their peak. And I always fancy, I think both from an Indian batting and Indian fast bowling perspective, I think we prefer Australian conditions. It just has the right combination.
Good morning, brothers and sisters of America.
Good, very good morning. Make America great again.
Mega 2.0. What's up, bros?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have an impact sub coming in right at the 19th over. We have a AI recreation of a BNP member who you would have heard on some episodes.
They
Visi cannot
not
verify
impact
his
sub. The
identity.
new vice captain of the US cricket team has come in basically.
Hey, why are you starting to curse from first second itself? Now?
Please welcome cartographer. Cart,
Good
please
morning,
share some.
friends.
Please share your great insights on the upcoming Border Gavaskar Trophy. Tell us what do you think?
I have swooped in at over number 19.4 like Ashna just to leave one white ball and get all the credit for this episode. kindly prepare. That's my only contribution. I came just to bring up Ashna. I know this August crowd will not talk about Ashna.
What do you mean we will not talk about Ashna? I am on the pod.
Okay.
What do you think is going to happen?
I should say we will talk about Ashna for 1 hour and then one bloody editor will edit it down to 2 seconds.
So since you brought up Ashna, Ash along with Rohit, Virat, and Bumrah is being rested from the Duleep Trophy to give him enough rest. He's had a arduous TNPL where he had not only the physical labor of carrying the team on his shoulders, literally a very Herculean task of doing so, but he also was the elder brother, coach, and mentor to all the youngsters in the team, as well as being a captain and
Opening
got the team
batter,
over the line.
Opening batter.
Opening batter as well, and someone who played at a strike rate of 160. So after all that, he's been advised rest to
Hey, I have one question. Like, is he tired from playing cricket or from shooting like videos basically?
He hasn't been making
he
enough
has
videos.
played like
They're
he
giving
has
him
been
time to
playing.
make videos.
He has played like 3 weeks of cricket in the last 6 months or so, basically. I mean, like, not in the India ODI side, not in the India T20 side. What Manangati rest he needs, man. Like,
I completely.
Guys, this is not done, man. Just because PGK is not here, you guys are doing like this. Very bad.
He gave his heart and soul. Every blade of grass in Dindigul has stood up as he walked past the pitch. Okay, you have no idea what you have witnessed.
No, all the blade is in YouTube.
Actually, it'll be an interesting contrast to see who has put out more content in the past 1 month, PGK or Ashna. I think Ashna will still win. Sorry, PGK.
Please don't throw shade on 2x2. We wish them all the very best in their podcasting efforts.
Pata Ashna is making some new Kuti video to show how 2x2 is actually 5, not 4.
He'll be the new A plus B whole squad 2AB.
Ashna
is the 2AB that holds everything together in Indian cricket.
But since you mentioned things about holding everything, VaMu, the Dharmashala ground is not able to hold anything. They're not able to hold any games. They're not able to hold their stadium. They're not able to hold the soil. They're not able to hold fungus. What has happened? Why not perform?
Now dressing room also unable to hold.
That ground is some immense ground, man. Like did an India-England test match happen there eventually or no? I keep forgetting.
It did happen because Michael Atherton posted videos from a hike he took in McLeodganj.
Correct.
So I have no recollection of the test match, but I have recollection of his hike from McLeodganj. But yes, for people
England
trying
must
to
have baseballed also there. No? So it's
for people
okay,
trying to
fine.
get context, the first T20I against Bangladesh has been moved from Dharamshala to Gwalior, yet again Madhya Pradesh. Not Indore,
Mancha,
but Gwalior.
Bangladesh government itself has moved from Bangladesh to UK or India or Dharamshala or somewhere. What is T20?
Political jokes.
India won by an innings and 64 runs. Kuldeep
What,
Yadav,
T20?
man of match. Nora. Fifth test Dharamshala, March 2024. Few months ago. Nobody remembers.
Actually, you know what? Since we're talking about politics, it'll be interesting. All leaders of deposed SAARC countries, which is basically people who play cricket, right? That's the intersection there. They should all just go to Dharamshala and we can make one deposed 11. Already Dalai Lama is somewhere there only, somewhere around, right? Sheikh Hasina can be there. This guy, what's his name? Rajapaksha. His son apparently is now going to become president of Sri Lanka. So all
Imran
these
Khan.
people can come off and then we can have one amazing tournament right there.
You forgot Imran Khan.
Yeah.
Correct. Imran Khan also.
But yeah, Imran Khan will be captain.
Correct.
No, here also Asana will be captain. No. What is it? He's been deposed unfairly by not being by never being appointed. He's been deposed.
I think that's what Indian 3 will be about. I think it'll be Ashna. They'll call Ashna back and they'll say, Vanga sir, do some Varma Kalai here for this deposed leaders 11.
Ashna is the real comeback Indian. You guys don't realize. All jokes aside, when we lose 3 tests and go into MCG, Ashna is the one who's going to come off the bench and completely obliterate the Aussies at MCG, and then he will vanquish them in Sydney for that lone consolation win, so that the GG era doesn't go with a complete whitewash. That's what Ashna's contribution is going to be. All if you wait and watch.
He is getting rest to go and sit on the bench in Australia.
Ashna puts the wank in vanquish. I don't think I can show my face in Chennai or Tamil Nadu after this.
You are not showing your face on the podcast only, man. Forget Chennai.
It is a plan.
Death. Oh my God.
So, anything actually you guys were talking or just...
No, this will lead.
So this year, Duleep Trophy is going to have like some 4 or 5 Indian teams, is it?
So apparently they have not mentioned what it is, but there's a change of format. So generally it is zonal, right? It is zonal, and then the whoever is nominated gets to pick the team from that zone. But because they're going to have Gill and Surya and Sarfu and all these guys play, they want to spread them out across teams and not kind of bunch them up in a zone. So I don't know what the format is, but it is still going to be the same 4-team tournament, but it's not going to be zonal like it used to be. At least that's what I saw in a tweet. So the details.
Yeah, it's going to be apparently India A, India B, India C, and India D.
That's called a Challenger Trophy, no? That's when Piyush Chawla bowls Sachin Tendulkar. What is this?
Yeah, don't say Challenger Gilanjet. Say
NKP
Salve, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly.
But also there is a Buchi Babu tournament happening in Chennai, since cartographer
Not Chennai. Every other town in Tamil Nadu, but not Chennai. They're playing in Salem, Coimbatore,
Dindigul.
Wait, that is only TNPL. So TNPL is called Buchi Babu tournament, no?
No, da.
Oh, Ashana has won 2 tournaments by winning 1. Wow, too much.
Oh,
But
so
no,
maybe
that's not.
because... But Ashna has been asked to rest for Duleep Trophy, but he may end up playing the Buchi Babu then, because he'll show up for Palempati Shield or some games, because he wants to ensure he gets game time.
Sorry, I have to interject and I have to tell you about this tournament, man. Like, this will warm Hank's heart like nothing else. This is the Puducherry Premier League, which started on August 5th.
Oh, hey,
Correct?
These are all real team names, is it? I thought
These
this is
are
some
real
parody
team.
thing. Now
Hey,
it's a cricket
I haven't made PPT and all, man. This is Cricinfo website of the Puducherry Premier
Bisi,
League, which started on August 5th. Wait.
Yeah.
Now you must tell me which team Asana will turn up for. Karaikal Knights with a double
Karaikal
I.
Knights. Karaikal Knights because it is numerologically perfect. Extra I and on.
because in extra I in the Knights, Mahe Megalo Strikers, Osudu Accord Warriors,
What
some
is
new model,
that
Villianur
sounds
Mohit
that-
Kings.
Wait, 1 second. Osudu Accord Warrior sounds like Mahesh Babu's next movie, macha. What is Osudu?
That is Okkadura, fool.
I know, next one, Osudu.
Villianur Mohit Kings, I think Mohit, what was that guy's name?
Sharma.
I forgot.
Sharma
Mohit
da.
Sharma. He's bought team, I think. White Town Drop Thought Giants. Like,
What are
beat
these
that.
What a
Take-
name.
This is your next AI engine, da. White Town Drop Thought Giants. Take it. Yanam Royals is the most boring name ever.
Normal
in
name,
this
yeah.
list.
Exactly. Oh my God.
Okay, now viewers or listeners, please vote and tell where Asana should turn up next.
You just gave Adi more questions for his next quiz when he asks about which of these teams is a real team. Now
This
we
is
have to
Chops
do.
territory. This is
No,
Chops.
this
Chops
is
will
Chops
put
territory.
icon and then he'll identify very
Now we have
current
to,
topic. He'll tell.
now we have to deal with Karaikal Knights.
Nice.
God.
But it's these Premier Leagues, right, are the next what do you call the next evolution for all those tennis ball tournaments that you would have all around, where now you're playing these so-called Premier League tournaments, franchise backed and all. But essentially, these were the tennis ball tournaments of the 90s, which are now being played here. So it's nice. I mean, more feeder tournaments, I guess.
Yeah.
Wonder where Ashna will send his scouts to this time. He had sent scouts to all over Tamil Nadu to as he was picking the team for the Dindigul Dragons. So now he has to go to Puducherry as well. Send his scouts to Puducherry as well, not just for booze, but also for picking up players.
Can I just say, Ashna is very used to bowling with Puducherry.
Yo.
That's all. That's the joke. Chaliye Pudu Cherry ko vanakkam.
So it was really tragic, and I think with every bit of information that came out, it got sadder and sadder. I mean, first we were all gutted when we heard that he passed away, and then the statement that his family put out saying that he died by suicide, and I think maybe a day ago came out that he'd actually been hit by a train. So it's really sad because I think we all grew up at a time when England were pretty shit, and he was one of the few sort of likable England cricketers, if such a thing existed. But yeah, it's really sad, and also we don't have any idea of what these guys are actually going through. It feels almost like we're like the crowd in some gladiatorial contest, and these guys are literally pulling themselves to shreds playing for us. So I just felt really, really sad when I processed all of that information.
I think one of the things was what you said, right? That Graham Thorpe was one of the most likable characters in that 90s England team, right? Which even though they were shit, they still found ways for us to, hate them. But like, it just feels incomprehensible. Like, apart from just the tragedy for him and for his family and friends and people around him, for us as a generation that grew up watching, my most enduring memory of Graham Thorpe and that English side is not even in whites, it's in colors, right? Like all of the quad series in Sharjah and the Five Nation tournaments in Sharjah, and all these people, even someone like Ben Holyoke, who was also cruelly taken away at a young age. And it feels, as it does with a lot of these things, of course this is selfish, but it feels like part of your childhood is gone, and it feels too early. Like he was what, mid-50s, even less than that.
56.
And yeah, 56. And this is not an age that anybody, leave alone a sports person, who is in prime fitness, should go. And obviously this has nothing to do with physical fitness, right? This was more of a mental thing. And I think it's a general reflection. Like these guys, as you said, go through so much stress, so much pressure, and then after sort of after the high of representing your nation, of doing something extremely consequential, which you will be remembered by, defined by. After that goes away, how do you sort of live life together? I think in general, mental health has taken a nosedive across the world, right? In the past 5, 10 years, whatever, right? And there's just not enough support for people out there, but especially for these pro athletes, right? It's just I can't imagine, like, the kind of stuff that they go through. But yeah, it was huge shock, huge shock. Just, Graham Thorpe, may he rest in peace.
And also, just to add to that, I mean, he he played cricket at a time where, there was this, where there was no awareness of these things, and you were dismissed as soft if you even spoke about this. So
Yeah.
he would have had to kind of wear the mask, because obviously, if he's had this as an issue, I mean, it could have been a chemical issue in the brain. We don't know, but he would have been forced to wear the mask. We've read Trescothick's book and his struggles. At least Trescothick came a little bit after Thorpe, where there was a little bit more understanding of these things. But Graham Thorpe played at a very, very tough time to be, an English cricket professional, where people weren't always understanding of these things.
I remember, I think Thorpe was caught in some controversy last Ashes when England went to Australia, where I remember the allegation that was thrown was he was organizing some drinking party for both teams, and he was caught smoking in that party inside the hotel or something like that. So, I mean, generally, you got the feeling that somebody who was having fun off the pitch, etc. So, yeah, I mean, quite shocking indeed, because at the end of the day, he was one of those guys who was having a successful career, like post his cricketing career as well. So, yeah, I mean, tragic to say the least. And yeah, I mean, echo all that you've said about support for all these issues of the field, basically.
But also, I mean, just to add to what Kart was saying, actually, when he was saying it, there's this image that popped in my head of Thorpe batting in Karachi. It was such a metaphor, actually. He's batting, and the lights are on, and there's gloom descending everywhere, but he's continuing to bat, and there's like this moment of triumph. They've achieved something historic, and you remember that moment. But as soon as that moment passes, darkness descends, and there is such an inevitability to that darkness descending. It's crushing. It's absolutely crushing.
That's very well put, PDP. Amazing. Yeah. True.
My most fond memory of Thorpe is this one test match in New Zealand. Might be Christchurch or Wellington, early 2000, 2001, 2002, something like that, where the first two innings are absolutely shit, where they're like 150, 200 and all, both of them score. And then in the second inning, England mounts up like 450 plus or something, with Thorpe scoring a double century in pretty quick time. And the commentators are like, Thorpe is just hitting everyone across the board. Again, the New Zealand bowling didn't have anything, right? Like, they still had Nathan Astle and Craig McMillan who were trying to bowl a lot of overs for them. Vettori was the only guy, but he was still scoring pretty quick runs, and the commentators are going crazy. And then fourth inning is when Nathan Astle shows up and says, wait, do you think that was quick? See what I will do. And then he scores another double century in that. And then everyone is like, oh, and in the end, they lose. But then Graham Thorpe was given the man of the match, and then I remember, because later people were like, no, Astle should have been gotten man of the match, and he scored because his was the most exciting innings of the entire series and so on. But that I remember that Thorpe game, and because when I was watching it, I was like, he was hitting them all over the park, and he was the only person who was in control, along with Freddie Flintoff in that game. So I remember that memory a lot. I think that must have been his only double century. I think that's his only double century, and I remember that one a lot, especially because more for the Astle carnage that follows up in the fourth inning. Okay.
Cool.
On that note, this is episode 137 of the Bits and Pieces. This is Max, PDP, Bisi, Varun, and our late sub cartographer signing off. We will be back with another episode 138, where we will talk about the upcoming Bangladesh possible tour to Pakistan. We don't know if it's still going to happen or not. It's at least on the cards. There is a Sri Lanka tour of England, which again is on the cards, but we don't know because of supposed security concerns. But what we do know is that the CPL will be kicking off. So that at least will happen. T20s cricket is the only thing that has, is a certainty in these days. But we'll see. Oh, but for sure, there will be a West Indies and South Africa second test happening. So we'll probably be looking at all the three games as we kick off the next week. So please join us in episode 138. Share, subscribe, leave us a comment. And if you want Cartographer to show up on more episodes, please badger him on X and leave comments so we can screenshot and send it to him, because he doesn't check X as well. But we will do that. Until then, signing off, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Please support Osudu Warriors.
Osudu Warriors forever.
Karaikal
forget.
Knights. Karaikal Knights, guys. Karaikal Knights with the two
Tandoori
eyes.
Knights, Karaikal Knights. Okay, sir. Okay, thanks. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Jai Hind.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?
Ashna bowling with the Puducherry. Cartographer, I think you have won the internet for this entire month. Mudiklama?
Yes.
This is like cheap cut rate Vikram. Mudiklamappa. Aramblikama. It's not enough.
No,
Mudiklama, enough.
that is how Indian 2 should have started.
Should have started. Bye.